Ladies and gentlemen, we are now here with the conclusion of What's Good America. That is Larry Smoother, Mr. Pull-Up Fitness, Bays, the Baconator himself. That is Big Game James, Mr. Six. Put it in the air. Now he got you. And I am the artist formerly known as Chocolate Pudding. I had to put a shirt on. The wife and the kids said like it was too much sexiness going on in one spot. So I had to put a shirt on. Anyway. We're going to wrap it up as you've been paying attention. Like we finished with a little bit of the NBA going on, and we got to dive a little bit more into it. So we're going to cover all things NBA in this short little clip here before we get to Give Me a Minute, because out of all three of us, I'm the most qualified to talk NBA because I could have been an NBA D-League AllStar. I just decided that arena football was the better route to go. But I still get calls.
Why would it not be me? I played an AN1 basketball game.
And I could have been in the D-League, so shut the fuck up.
All right, let's see. Is that Stella Rosa already getting to you? Stella Rosa. Shout out Stella Rosa.
Love Stella.
Oh, don't worry. We ain't forget about the screwball. I know I ain't been drinking America, but, you know, screwball's still here. And of course, shout out to Terramont Tequila.
My tolerance is going to be so trash come this bachelor party.
Oh,
man.
I'm right along with you, dude, because this is what I've been drinking. Like hey. Shout out the Kirkland brand water.
Hey, Kirkland, we might be coming back for you, man. I'd start getting my vodka bottles like I had at the beginning of COVID, man.
I'll take a Costco sponsorship. I ain't tripping.
Don't even sleep on that French distilled vodka, you know, saying in that nice little bottle with the red tint joint. You know what I'm talking about, babe.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I want to bring this one in, man, because obviously we've kind of talked about it, right? and I love the NBA. I'm always gonna love the NBA. So thankful to them. Without the NBA, I think a lot of us sports heads wouldn't have gotten through the pandemic the way they did. They kind of saved us with everything they threw together and gave us a very competitive playoffs and good storylines and some great things that happened. That being said, the fact that this podcast is happening on a Sunday, America, and you're talking about three guys that are very loyal to watching All-Star Weekend. You know, at some point or some capacity. I used to record it if I knew I was going to be too drunk to watch it from a Saturday, or if I was going to be out. I'm just calling it what it is, Chris. I mean, think about it. Think about me in Billings from 2009 to 2014. There's a good chance I was going to be hung up. Okay? It's March. The snow's finally melting. You know where I was at. I was probably at Hooligans or something like that, acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Doing some sort of second chance Sunday. Over here playing, living my best life, and living my best life hadn't even come out yet in them times. I ain't going back and forth with these, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that we are doing a podcast on All-Star Sunday night speaks to a couple things. One, I blame LeBron James in a good way. Obviously, LeBron's empowerment that he is brought to these players and the things that I'm seeing and the way man, I love that about LeBron. I love the fact that he's really written his own narrative in the history books of the NBA. But when it comes to All-Star Weekend, I'm just going to say this right now. When LeBron James said no to doing a dunk contest early in his career, he set All-Star Weekend up and he set it back to where it is now. Because our stars don't do what they're supposed to do. Outside of the three-point contest. Shout out Steph Curry, who's been in that three-point contest more than half the years he's been in the NBA, which has led to Damian Lillard being in it. Devin Booker's won it. Clay's won it. We've had Ray Allen in it. We've had Dirk Nowitzki in it. Like, you know, we've seen the stars show up for that, for a three-point. To the fact that the three-point shooting contest, I've said it before the show, they should flip them. Like the dunk contest should go on before because the three-point contest has become more exciting. Yeah. Did you ever think in your lifetimes, guys, you would look more forward to a three-point shooting contest than a dunk contest?
Not at all. Not at all.
And that's LeBron James's fault. Because when we used to watch a dunk contest as kids, we watched it for our stars to watch them be creative. You know, obviously Michael and Dominique, we're, 4 and 5 years old in those competitions. Dr. J being in the first one, 84. Me and Bays were 1 year old. Chris Turner just coming out the womb. You know what I'm saying? But, we do come from the era of watching Sean Kemp be in the dunk contest. Larry Johnson, when Larry Johnson was the shit.
Grandmama.
You know
what I'm saying? J.R. Ryder, when he went the East Bay Funk dunk. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant entered the dunk contest. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and Steve Francis were in the same dunk contest. Jason Richardson, Aaron Davis. I mean, you had these stars, and I'm not saying that they were Jordan, Wilkins, Irving, but these were young guys that knew that they were stars and they had something to give. I give credit to the Zach LaVines of the world. Zach LaVine's an all-star. He won the thing twice, But I think ever since LeBron has been so reticent to not do it out of fear of losing, which even speaks more to what we've talked about this entire stream, is the microwave culture of now. It's another big part of it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody doesn't want to be, turned into a meme and all that stuff. I mean, you know how much money Michael Jordan probably got off that Jordan crying meme? It's his likeness. That probably pushed Michael Jordan to one point, maybe to being a $2 billionaire, like the $2 billion, the Jordan meme. Who knows? I don't know how that stuff works. But I tell you this much, man. The fact that we're doing this on All-Star Sunday night, it speaks to how I feel about the All-Star game, at least this year. And I just think they need to do better. Why, I'm glad Zion's playing, and like Zion ended up being a substitute in the game.
Yeah.
But the fact Zion Williamson hasn't been in the dunk contest, if he's healthy, Zion should enter one time and then be done. This is what I'm talking about. We've got stars.
Where I'm at with this All-Star game, dude, like I feel like, honestly, just break it down to be whoever the top 5 guys are who gets the most votes. You just get a 3-on-3 squad. And you get this half of the court, you got 2 teams going down here, you got 2 teams going down there. Whoever was the number 1 guy who got the most votes, his team waits, and you just go from there, because it got brought up earlier. I don't know if it was on or off, but these guys aren't playing hard, all right? I get it. It's the middle of the season, blah, blah, blah. But if you make it a 3-on-3 tournament, go to 11. And that's it. And, like, it'll be short and sweet. Then that way you could honestly do the 3-on-3 tournament. You could have the 3-point contest, which is now what everybody really wants to see. You sprinkle in a little bullshit dunk contest, even if you have it or you don't. Hell, honestly, lower it down to 8 feet and let the WNBA do it. I'm not trying to disrespect the WNBA, because I know there are some women who can do the 10-foot dunk contest, but lower it down to 8 and let's make it interesting. Like, see if Sue Bird wants to come back and try to dunk with 2 hands on 8 feet. I don't care. Like, let's make the All-Star game fun again, because right now it's the game itself. Like, yeah, there's like a sprinkle of okayness in it, because you'll get to see a guy work his handles out a little bit, then that's it. But at the same time, nobody cares, because like the guy who's guarding him isn't really guarding him, so he's kind of like there. So make it a 3-on-3 tournament. Like, let me see LeBron, Giannis, and Curry on the same team versus, honestly, the big 3 of the Nets. I mean, let's see what
I was like, first of all, that's one of the dopest 3-on-3 squads I've ever heard of. Steph, LeBron,
and Giannis.
Giannis, you got it all covered there. What can they not do in the half court?
Right. So, like, you got those 3 versus another 3 versus another 3. Like, that way it's interesting. And then, like, you can't really half-ass it, because, like, dude, you got your guy. Like, it's no zone. Like, you got this guy. That's where I'm at with it.
The All-Star game has been watered down for years. For years. The reason is these young guys are making too much coin. To quote the illustrious scholar, Ricky Waters, when they asked him in a game that they were losing, why wouldn't he stretch out for a ball and get his head knocked off? Now, this is pre-targeting penalty. He said, for who, for what? Little did we know that he was a brilliant man, because now we all learn about what? CTE. So he made a business decision when they were losing the game. I'm not risking my health to get a first down in a game that we can't even win. That is the dumbest thing in the world. And as my teammate, would I talk bad about him?
Yeah.
Yes, I would. Would I understand him? Yes, I would. So it's conflicted. But he would get these jokes. But to bring it back to the All-Star game, it's watered down. The level of care that the players have, they don't have that same level of. I don't want to say that they're not competitive. I think they are as equally competitive as the guys in the past. I think the difference is they are making so much money and they're spreading themselves thin with their brands. You can't be all things to everybody. And so when it comes to the All-Star game, I think because of the collective bargaining agreement, they have obligations to put that game on. But because of their contracts with their teams, there's a vested interest of you to go perform. And then basketball is a perfect sport where you can kind of perform at 50 to 75% and make it look good for the fans. You can't do that in other sports, especially like football, some of these other games.
No.
You just can't do that.
I agree. So, they don't play hard. They play hard for 5 minutes. You go watch, if you ever have any time NBA TV and they go on a slew of showing, go watch I'll give you certain years. Watch the All-Star games from 1987 and 1988. Watch the All-Star game from 1998. And then watch the All-Star game from 2003, the one where Jordan hit the fadeaway. Watch those games and watch how much harder for 4 quarters. I mean, this guy's going to the free throw line in the first quarter. And I'm not saying go kill each other. That's not what I'm saying. But they don't play as hard. And it's okay. No. Because for me, I get it too. Because I'm telling you right now, if I was making 5 years, $40 million, and there was a provision that said you better not get hurt in the All-Star game, but we could take $5 million back, man, please, you could vote me in every year. I'm sitting out after 5 minutes. I'm getting that $5 million.
Well, here's the thing, though, dude. I get that's built in a lot of people's contract, but at the same time, let's throw more money into it. So, yeah, you got $5 million, but they'll take it back if you get hurt during the All-Star game. But at the same time, Nike's going to give you $7 million if you wear this exclusive All-Star version of their shoe that they're going to have a limited release on. I'm talking to you, Jordans, which I still haven't seen like those. Anyway, so they're going to have a run of shoes just for you to wear during the All-Star game. So why wouldn't you, as a businessman, just think, all right, I'm not going to opt out. I'm going to rock these shoes, and I'm going to make sure I'm playing, like they said, 50 to 75%, but I'll play 30 minutes of the game so I can show off this brand new Nike shoe that's going to get me more money.
Well, that's always been kind of the impetus of the game. But Gris, you hit on something perfect to me. And that's exactly what they should be doing with the dunk contest. And there's been a lot of us that have said it for years. I'm just going to put it on wax here. You should get 4 guys and go, here's how this is going to go. First place is going to get this amount of money. Not this 10, 15, 20 grand they're throwing out. Give first place $2 million. Give second place $1 million. Give third place $500,000. Give fourth place $250,000. I guarantee you somebody go, well, if I win this.
Yep.
And then make that $2 million tax-free? Find a way?
Uncle Sam ain't letting that happen. That ain't happening.
Which ain't happening. But that's the point we're making. The 3-point contest, you don't have to worry about that. Because I think there is just so much pride now with a lot of these guys with, as we were talking about before we got on the cameras, with the logo range now. when you're talking about Logo Lillard, you're talking about Steph, and you obviously throw Clay in. We haven't seen for 2 years, but we know Clay is going to be hopefully just structurally fine. The jump shot will be there as long as it's Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris, for crying out loud right now. Joe Harris is the
big shot Joe, baby.
And Joe Harris is a three-point champion. Okay, Devin Booker. I mean, you got guys that can just Duncan Robinson. There's some guys that can flat out just shoot. So I think we've said enough about it. It's just making a point. I didn't even realize, basically, the dunk contest is on. I was like, oh, that's right. They did the dunk contest today. I was like, okay, do we need to just wait 30 minutes for you? I don't know. I just didn't feel it. I mean,
they pulled me in. They pulled me in. The first round was good. Then they kind of tapered off. They couldn't keep that steam up. But they started good, the young guys.
But, I mean, where are the names, man? There's guys that can, but also I give the NBA this. I read this. Did you know that the NBA didn't let Russell Westbrook in the dunk contest early in his career?
Why not?
They didn't let him in. Why not?
Yeah, Russell wanted to be in, and they ended up choosing somebody else. I don't know if it was the year DeMar DeRozan got in. They did a dunk off, and then Russell's like, "Well, I'll never do it again." So there's no telling. It could not all just be the players, because Russ actually tried to do it one year. And they were like, nah, Russ, we good on that. We'll go with these guys. So I don't know, man. So nonetheless, hope everybody's healthy. Shout out, I think Giannis Antetokounmpo won the MVP. Shout out to Giannis.
Kobe Bryant MVP.
Is that what they call it now?
I believe so, the Kobe Bryant MVP.
They call it the Kobe Bryant MVP?
Yeah, I'm with that. That makes sense.
All right,
that makes sense. Yeah,
okay.
I'm with that. I still don't feel like Kobe should be the logo. There should only be one person that's the logo. But to name something after Kobe, I feel like the AllStar game is a nice second place for it. So
Michael Jeffrey Jordan should be the logo.
Goddamn right.
What do I know?
We talked
after
I know
a billion grossed in shoes, and you don't play in over a decade.
I know, but I just wanted to bring it back up. It still should be.
He has chosen not to be the logo. They've been trying to make him the logo for 25 years, and he's like,
well, try it again. Nah, bitch, I'm cool.
Nah, bitch, I'm cool. That, I mean, he's like Mike. I think Mike look at it and go, listen, and there's somewhere in there to where he loses money. Come on, now, this is the guy.
Yeah, he would lose money with that. Unless they paid him $1 billion for his logo, and they gave his estate certain royalties to still use it and obviously produce clothing and shoes and all of that stuff. But yeah, he would probably lose some money.
He ain't no dummy. If there was some way that he would profit and become even more of a billionaire, you don't think that logo would have been Jumpman by now? It's Michael Jordan. This dude is all about winning. You know what I'm saying? So that's that with that. There's a whole lot of that's right there. Jesus Christ. Sober as hell with all them that's. But no, I'm with you guys, man. But, I personally thought it was a great notion that it was brought up by Kyrie Irving that, the logo should be Kobe. I'm with that, because, this generation sees him as that. And, I'm saying, there's nothing against Jerry West, because I know how good Jerry West was. Jerry West was bottoms. Pop, pop, jumper, pure, buckets. Jerry West averaged 28 points a game. That dude was a walking bucket.
Yeah.
For a reason. And he's basically been responsible for damn near every successful dynasty since 2000. If a team has been on the come up after being bad, best believe Jerry West somehow had something to do with it. Lakers of the 2000s. He made the Memphis Grizzlies winners.
Yeah.
He's the one that found the Gasol brothers. That was him. And then Golden State. He did that. That's Jerry West. Steph, Clay, Draymond. And now he's down there with the Clippers. And look what he's done with the Clippers. I mean, I don't know if they're going to make it out the West. I don't know who's going to make it out. The West is a mess. But anyway, I digress. Look at me over here rhyming, you know what I'm saying, on water. The West is a mess, but I digress. I want to talk about another All-Star game. Mike Bazemore. Chris Turner never had the privilege of having an opportunity to be voted in. But I guess we're going to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and make this vocal. Todd Tryon, this is a shout out to you. Chris and I discussed some things, and we're going to just put it on wax here. We would like to be the official podcast to IFL. And how do we start that? We talk about one of my greatest memories and also one of the worst disasters in the history of the league. Oh, the defunct but loved IFL All-Star game. Man. When I tell you, y'all, Chris, do you remember?
How do you get blackballed from an All-Star game? How do you do that? How do you do that?
I don't know. I had never heard of anybody being told, you know what? Yeah, you're not going to play. Like, okay. Like, what difference did it make? Like, the season's over. Like, what difference did it make to me?
Because you was trying to finagle some deals with Sioux Falls.
First of all,
the league champion.
Hold on now. Like, can we?
He was tampering. He was tampering.
That's what it's tampering. That's what it comes down to.
Tampering.
First and foremost, that is completely 100% false.
But that was the word on the street.
That was the word on the street, was that's what was going on. I didn't even see Curtis Briggs when I went up there and played golf. First of all, I went and played golf.
You didn't
That's
see him.
all I did.
You didn't see him. Yeah, they never see him, right?
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened, Baze. Like, straight up, it was me and JT and Leon Hall. I think the three of us were playing together and playing like shit because ain't none of us know how to really swing golf. It was 2008. Like, I'm just like getting into the game. And I'm not any better now than I was then, I feel like. So I went up there and played golf, had a good time. Like, Sioux Falls was, hour from Sioux City. Went up there, came back. See, Chris, what happened was that I had two All-Star experiences. 2007, when it was in Bloomington, when we hosted, we had a ball. Everybody had All-Star tracksuits, T-shirts, towels, footballs. Banquet was on point. Award ceremony. I took care of the entertainment that night. I was basically responsible for 40 dudes running around Bloomington. And Chris, shout out your fraternity, the Sigmas. That's the party we ended up going to. That party, they still talk about that party to this day. Like, yo, that party that was in the street. Dude, we was in the street. The police even was like, it's cool. I come up to Sioux City. They give us some horrible looking, like, polo shirt. We wore Sioux City's pants in the All-Star game.
Well,
they gave us nothing. So after losing to Sioux Falls, which I was pissed about, let me tell you something else, okay? This whole, Stephon Diggs sitting there on the field doing all that, that's dope. You know who started doing that? Me in 2008. It is a fact. You asked my daddy when we were at the wedding. I sat there and watched them some bitches celebrate for an hour. And Baze knows, because Baze had a Sioux Falls celebration. He knows how they get down. They get down pretty good. Bottom line is, I was pissed off. I was drunk. Okay, I was definitely drunk all weekend. I was probably drunk all week. I was upset about losing the championship. And on top of that, they were treating us like shit. The hotel was shitty. Everything was bad. It was just bad. So I said, you know what? Listen, I'm here. I'm going to go have a good time. So, Chris, I went up and played golf. I didn't go to practice. I came back.
Okay.
That's
well,
what
can I ask a couple of questions? I'm not even worried about giving me a minute now. Now I want to dive deeper into this. And yeah, folks, I know this is the final one. We'll give me a minute. Like, we got 1,000 more shows coming. So we're about to dive into some stuff. And Baze, please, when Walt lies, please correct him. So the All-Star game was in Sioux City, right?
2008 it was, yes.
Okay. And 2008 is when you lost to Sioux Falls in the championship?
That's correct.
Okay. So you watched Sioux Falls then celebrate one of their many illustrious championships in front of you.
Yeah, that was their fourth one in a row at that point. And we had them, but we lost. We lost by 5.
Okay. So then you went
go ahead.
Then you went and played golf with one of their best receivers.
Yeah, I was friends with them guys. You know,
Okay,
once the season was over, was that.
Okay. So
you know what
played
this sounds like? This sounds like Dwayne Wade,
Please.
LeBron James kind of type of stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So I'm
just spitting.
I'm trying to get there.
A more modern analogy.
I'm trying to get there. I was gonna go more Kevin Durant than anything else, but whatever. So you're playing receiver you're playing golf with one of the best receivers, a sport that you at that time weren't very good at, but conveniently enough, you wanted to take one of their best receivers and go play in Sioux Falls. Right?
They invited me up, so I went in and I was like, "Hey, let's go."
Oh, they invited you.
Okay. And you didn't see their owner.
I brought my golf clubs. I was like, "Cool."
You didn't see their owner or their head coach.
No.
What did you guys talk about while you were playing golf? Did the possibility of teaming up come up?
We talked about how whack the All-Star game was.
Okay.
At that point, JT had like foot surgery, I think, at that point.
So he was going to need some help the next season, because if he was coming off foot surgery, then that's conveniently enough to say that, well,
He had already had it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Now, hindsight, as you didn't have a large African-American join you in 2009, the 2009 version of JT that I remember only had about 3 catches for less than 40 yards. So hence to say he wasn't 100%. So if he would have had maybe another 6'3", 6'4" receiver who was a veteran in the league playing for him and with him, maybe that game would have been a little bit different. Is that fair enough to say?
Well, it's fair enough to say because I was the best player in the league. I was going to make a difference wherever I went. Like, that had nothing to do with JT. I was the best player. I was the best player in the league.
So before you got traded to Billings for a washing machine, you were trying to essentially leverage your way into a dynasty program, which was Sioux Falls. Is that fair enough to say?
No, I wasn't, because that's not where I wanted to play, actually.
You just said that you watched you. It's fair enough to say you watched them celebrate a championship in front of you, which you knew you were not getting there with Bloomington at all. That shit wasn't happening.
That's really what it was. I basically blew up, and Bloomington was like, "F this guy." That's what happened. More
and more of this story is sounding a lot like Kevin Durant. So you were too big for your small market team, which, mind you, all of these are small market teams. But you were too big for your small market team. You saw the bright lights and banners and championship rings and Tryon gyms and all the rings and playing for a great quarterback. You decided, you're like, you know what? I'm too much of a big deal for this. Let me go somewhere where my level of celebrity will be appreciated. Is that kind of fair enough to say?
Well, I think when you make $86 when you win a game and when you make $46 when you lose a game during the season.
Listen,
at the end of the day, you just want it to be paid the normal $200. I mean, that
listen, I can't speak to that because I've never made that amount of money. So what I can say is it seems as though you were leveraging your way to be in the bright lights of Sioux Falls to be.
Well, I will say this. I basically the whole weekend, and Baze knows this because he was there. I said I'm a free agent. I did.
So
say
you're
that.
pretty much telling people like, you know what? Somebody come get me.
Walt came to practice fresh off the road, and he was like, Rick James showed up. I was like, who is this dude? This dude is crazy.
Yeah, I was not happy.
Okay, Kevin, I got you.
But at the end of the day, man, I think the game should come back. Now, if I'm the reason, now the more I'm talking about this, if I'm the reason it blew up, my bad. But I think it would be a great thing, to be able to have it in a host city. I mean, you've got cities like, obviously, with Dixie down there in Tucson. You've got the Arizona Rattlers there in Phoenix. Sioux Falls is always a great place. It loves the game. You've got some great places where you can switch and go to different sites. And it's just a way to reward players that are really not making an awful lot to do something they love and be able to give them some things now, especially with this league having a TV deal now.
Well, dude, let me say this because I know we're running out of time. Here's why that can't come back is honestly because of you. Like, this is a friends. This is a friends league, so for a fact, like it's a friends league. So the same way I ended up here because of CJ, and the same way Tough ended up here Gaddafi came because of Tough. The same way all these pipelines, because you come up to teams in this league because of friends. So you're the reason why there's no IFL All-Star game. And with that being said, it's another fantastic episode of What's Good America. Follow us on IG, YouTube, and all that stuff. What's Good America?